So basically we're down here in Perry County, Ohio. We're on 220 acres today. We don't own this yet. We're looking to see if we want to buy it, if it's a play that we think could be a great farm to turn into something, and then sell it to one of our customers. So that's what we're here looking at. Tyler drummed this lead up. He did a drive-by here, what, about a week ago?
Yeah.
And he said, dude, I think it looks pretty good. It's got some frontage. It's got some opportunities to, you know, maybe do a couple sides or make smaller parcels if people can't afford a big parcel. You know, I can tell already just by being here that there's been timber cut off this place probably 10 years ago, I'd say. Yeah. But it still looks like there is some timber here and there, some scattered big oaks from the road. That's some of the stuff we're gonna dig into today, is trying to look at, like, does it have mature timber? Does it have water sources? What are the bedding areas like? You know, how can you hunt this property? You know, trying to look at it from a standpoint of how we can set the property up to be most effective for a new buyer.
When I rode here, I always try to pay more attention to like what's around it. You know, I used to just kind of zone out, listen to a podcast, whatever, and then you show up. And now I'm like really trying to be aware, even, you know, 3-4 miles back, like what does it look like? And from the direction I came and the way I think he came, it's nice. I mean, it lays nice up through there. There's tillable. There's a big tillable field up there. You know, so you've got, you know, the properties on both sides of the county road. There's a county road above it. We believe there's access to the northwest. So it has the potential to be really good. It's a bigger piece. I mean, yeah. I like this size, but it may be tough for a buyer if you're not looking for that, or if you financially can't afford it. Like you said, we may have to do a little bit of parceling here, but there's really good potential to do that. So we'll take a look and see.
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically some of the type of stuff that, as people have seen if they've watched our videos, is we'll probably gate this access, you know, spruce it up, clean up some of this trash. That's just what we do, kind of get things a little better, a little prep to where, like, the new buyer doesn't have a lot of stuff to do. You know, it's kind of like not always 100% turnkey, but a lot of simple features already taken care of that, you know, a guy that maybe lives out of state or, you know, a couple hours away just can't always be here to do and get done.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. We don't do everything, but what we do, I think, is a huge leap forward in someone's improvement process of a farm. And
even just like simply getting off the road, being able to lock a gate behind you, or making it feel like the property is a little more secure, you know.
Yep. Close and climb. So typically if we take it, you know, soup to nuts, we'll even have tree stands, and either they're hung or we've got them that we'll provide to buyers and have, you know, Ben will put
we'll have a deer plan together that they can be like, this is what we would recommend. Some buyers want us to implement it. We can, just depends, you know.
So today we're gonna go see
if we want
have. Yeah, it
see if we even want it.
What we want or what you want. I'm too lazy to buy a battery. Okay, it'll fix itself. I mean, surely we're gonna find a road or something somewhere. Full service here. That's a little nice thing. A little ambush site right there. There's a ground blind, so you're getting warm. That's actually a slow pace for Ben. If anyone's using a measuring, you know, pace meter, that's a slow gait for him.
Like if you look up here, you can see this high ridge. And if you look at deer casts on that, you can see these real rugged swirls up in here, and that's what that is it's overburden from where they were mining out years ago. And they've piled that, got the coal, or, you know, whatever they were getting, most likely coal years ago, surface coal, and you know, overburdened all that, and it's been years and years and years, and you're probably talking back probably 50, 60 years ago. But the one thing that is about this place is you could come in here and do a little, what I call creating hotel rooms. You could come in here and take some of these nasty soft maples that are like triples.
Yep.
With bigger tops and tip them in specific areas, but not like just, a lot of people come in here and just do this crazy hinge cutting, and it doesn't always do justice. Like, it just makes it too hard for deer to get around. I like creating fish structure type of deal. But there's a lot of thickness in this farm anyways, a lot of browse, a lot of olive bush coming up that needs taken care of if somebody really wants to get it back into timber. But eventually as the timber grows, it chokes that olive out.
It's got a lot of foot traffic sign on it so far.
It does. There's a lot of deer sign on it. And when you got hay down there,
yep,
water source.
Well, and that's a cut bean field, I'm pretty sure. Wait, you went that way. Is it hay? I thought it was a cut bean field.
I was just saying up front there and there is a bean field.
Educate me on this tree. What is it?
Sweet cherry.
Hold on. What kind of cherry did you say?
Sweet.
Sweet cherry?
Sweet cherry.
So you get a timber guy, you gotta ask questions.
See, this really makes a nice round here, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be a really stellar place for a redneck blind or something right here.
Right where this corner, where this turn is.
Even a tree stand, you know, I mean, put a Novix right in here somewhere. You get a lot of traffic here in Ruckus. What I'm thinking is you probably could put some food right here.
I was just gonna say, I am already impressed with how little traffic is on this. We also have to keep a tally of who slips and gets mud on their butt. Ha ha, ding, ding, ding.
Yep, nice little shed.
That's not, that's pretty promising because someone else would have found that. What do you think, a year and a half old maybe? If it's a two and a half, that's decent. If it's a year and a half, it's gonna be big. And I always hate liking farms. I like them too quick. Yeah. Look at that. That's a pretty rub. I saw you take a picture. That's a pretty rub. Now tell us, Ben, tell me, is that, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a giant.
That's what I was gonna ask you. How do you determine?
I mean, it's, you know, it's definitely an older deer. I mean, it's not a year and a half old buck doing that. The other thing is you can see he's rubbing on the backside too, but you know, he's getting pretty aggressive on this thing.
That's cool.
That's, you know, I would say it's a good 3-year-old plus type deer. You know, he could be even that deer this year.
Let's mark a pin because I think we could all just walk in here currently next year. So.
Yeah. Well, what he's doing, you know, I mean, like you got this little bit of grassy area, this old spot, you know, this flat little, that's got grass and gets some sun here in the mornings. He could just be laying in here and he gets up, makes a rub, takes a dump, you know, goes off, chases girls, comes back from feeding at night and beds around here on these edges. It's a perfect spot. There's some good sound over here.
I mean, have you not seen the Ben Camper clip? He has it in him to be funny.
I really like this up here.
Yeah.
This ridge right here, this bench is going to bring all the deer from that side to this side. You basically just got to get in those 2 white oaks over there, this double soft maple right here, can hunt any wind right here.
And if we're right, if the tillable up there is where they're at, especially even early, and they're coming back here to bed, they're going to have to cross the county road, but dude, if you could get access up here and drop in. Ben said one time, and it made so much sense, he was like, sometimes you can go into these farms and put in a plot or doze out this area and ruin it because it was so good already to the deer, and you just went in there and changed the way they use it.
Everybody thinks that, oh, the ultimate thing is we got to go in and we got to put food plots here and cut trees down here and do this here, and I'm the ultimate deer manager. Well, was the big bucks already there? And if they are, why fool with it? If they're not, then you're trying to pull them there. But if they're already there, like that's what I learned years ago. I, you know, got first time I ever really leased a farm, and you know, I was pretty young, but the only way the lady would let us hunt it was she would lease it, you know, because everybody else was just sneaking on it. Finally, I said, well, look, I'll post it, I'll lease it. I think I'll lease it for like $1,500. And that farm was thick and nasty, always had big deer on it. Old crappy, had a horrible farmer on it, just nasty, growed up fields, and the clover was in it, but there was always big bucks in it. I went in there, started mowing things, putting plots in, doing this and that, thinking, man, I'm gonna turn this into a mecca. I run them all out.
And the neighbors loved you.
Yeah, they did. I mean, neighbor did kill that deer. The biggest one, he did.
Well,
I pushed him right over there on him, and that taught me a huge lesson. So I backed off, let them plots all grow back up, moved some plots more towards the front, left them alone. 2 years later, they were all back in, you know, it started coming back. It's just big deer don't like a lot of mouths. They don't like a lot of change and intrusion. Now, sometimes you have to go in and thicken things up, do some logging, stuff like that. But there's so many people out there to be hired right now to say they can come and consult your property. My biggest thing is I'd say look at their wall. That's really what I would say.
Shots fired.
Show me the deer that you have killed.
Yeah, true.
I want to see tags filled from your tactics or like how you hunt. I don't mean like 20 years ago,
right,
when you was 15 years old and shot one with a shotgun.
Right.
You know, I want to know what you're killing now. What's their age class for the area you're hunting? Doesn't always have to be antler size.
Right.
Because that antler size is relative to where you live.
Well, and I was just going to say he won't plug himself, but every year when there's adversity, or every year you can watch the shows, season after season, clear way back in the juries, every year he figured it out a way. You know, he figured out a way. And that's why I always want him around, because I like to play stupid. The playing field of what he knows and what we know is hemispheres apart. And I want to get around that. If we would actually pick this farm apart, you can agree there would be some banger sheds on here, I guarantee it. You know, a little shed hunting side note. Probably most guys are like me. Today's an awesome day to shed hunt. The only thing that I like better than today for a shed hunt, as I'm looking for one, I like it to be cloudy, because the sun, it just makes it hard, and sometimes it's hard on your eyes to see. You know, if I find a shed, I'll take it and throw it and just try to retrain my eye. This one's super bleached because it's a year old, but a fresh shed on a deer that's got some, you know, character to it, sunny day, I think they're harder to see. I like cloudy days. But there's a beautiful image of Ben over here talking to God, and we should get that, and we'll see what Ben says.
No, I mean, I was sitting here like, because this is really simple access, you know, trucks are right there.
Yeah, just slip right up here.
Like, you literally could put a really nice plot, small plot right here on this flat if you wanted to, because you got bedding here and here. I mean, they will just flock to this little spot right here. Or like if you were feeding deer here or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I like this farm.
I do too.
I do too.
I do.
You might just want to buy this one and keep it. So recapping here, we just finished the walk, and for sure we're interested in trying to get this one bought up. Feel it's got a lot of potential. Actually, we feel it's got so much potential that Tyler even said like this could be his new home farm. He'd maybe sell his other farm and buy this one, be a little closer to where he lives. So that's how much we feel about it. Like it's a different farm. It's not like got an ag on it or anything like that, but there's enough pockets in this farm, and with Ohio being a state that you can feed deer and stuff, I think there's a lot you can do with this farm with small clover patches, feeders, and not necessarily hunting like those feeders, but using those as like food sources that you can hunt the deer off of, you know, maybe, you know, even 200 yards away, catching them coming back to bedding areas, rutting areas, scrape lines. Like, it's just all stuff to keep your deer in this thick cover, because like this farm's big enough and it's got enough cover. You're gonna have multiple groups of deer using it. The farm is divided well. So I really feel like you could have multiple big bucks on this farm.
Yeah, overall takeaway, I think this is a really good buy for anyone as is, especially if they're a DIYer or like the elbow grease idea. But also for us, I think for us to take it in, you know, if we would call it phase one of making immediate improvements to the farm, this one's going to be, I won't say easily improvable, but it's going to be very readily improvable, because it lays soft. I mean, we can come in here and do some cleanup. You could get some blinds set. You could get, like Ben said, some large feeders to try and create consistency in their travel. You could get all that done in like a hard 4-day run here, and this place is even better than it already was. And of course, if you buy it and then you think, you know, you realize, hey, we do need maybe one big destination food source, or we need something to centralize the deer. Well, it's an open canvas here. You can do it at any time. Yeah. You can do that at any time. So I don't think what you'll find out of us here, and I'm interested in your opinion, but I don't think we're not looking at a big blitz plan.
It's not
here.
like a big major renovation.
No, like, you know, we did this Meg's farm, put in tons of food plots there, and, you know, it needed it. It was just a big woods farm. This isn't that. Yeah. It's very different.
It's woodsy, but it's not. It's a little different than that one.
Yeah. So all right, well, we're gonna be aggressive on trying to get this one. It's Perry County. I think it's 227 acres, but 220 something. Yeah. Great piece. We're about 40 minutes out of Columbus, and it's nice. It's a good one. So we'll push hard on this one. I'm optimistic that we could get this one bought and go from there.